How do you think being raised in an athletic family affected you?
Being raised in an athletic family, well, it definitely caused me to play sports. Absolutely. That's how I spent most of my time. So I didn't really have an option to not play sports, and just being around successful athletes and coaches, um, I think just made me expect a certain level of that similar performance in myself. So from an early age, like that was the idea that I would take my athletic career as far as I could.
As a coach today, how would you describe having your mom as a coach, and how did having your mom as a coach affect your coaching style?
I think I wish I were more like my mom as a coach. She's like super fiery and inspirational. So actually, I feel like I'm not like her. Not that I'm, I could be fiery too, but she's just like your textbook coach. I still think I'm figuring out how I want to be as a coach. Um, but I talk to her all the time, like even now. I'll ask her like just her thoughts on anything volleyball related or even coaching style related, because like I said, just like teaching, like when you're new to this craft, you're constantly evaluating yourself and asking yourself like, am I doing this right? Am I handling this situation appropriately? So you're always just reflecting in that way. um, so yeah, she's made a huge impact. She's someone I lean on a lot still.
How was your college experience as a Division I athlete and student?
Complex. The experience was complex. It was definitely challenging. I'm happy I did it for sure. Throughout the 4 years, I would be lying if I said I hadn't thought about quitting. And I respect anyone who does choose to step away from sports, especially at that level. But ultimately, it was fulfilling. It caused me to grow a lot and mature a lot and do things that I didn't think I was really capable of in terms of work and performance. Overall, yeah, definitely one of the hardest things I've ever done, but happy I did it.
Why did you want to become a teacher, more specifically an English teacher?
I've always loved English, so I was naturally drawn to that subject. That's what I studied in college. But I actually didn't ever want to be a teacher, and then I started working at a school, just sort of happened upon it, and I was a substitute, and then I ended up loving working with kids, and I was tutoring a little bit, and I just found that I was always kind of like happy when I was there, whereas at other places I'd worked, I hadn't always felt that way. So yeah, that was kind of what did it. Just jumping right in made me realize like, oh, this is really cool actually.
What brought your attention to teaching at law?
My mom is from Milford. I lived in Milford when I was a kid, so anything in Milford like really stuck out to me. And when a job opened up, I jumped on it, and it happened to be here at law. So yeah, it was just being in Milford, having been familiar with Milford um, from the get go. I was so excited to apply.
What were your goals to get you to where you are today?
In terms of my athletic career, like to get me into a place where I'm now like coaching and mentoring girls for the sport of volleyball, I'd always just like figured I would play volleyball, and that's what happened. I think it's the family I was raised in. Um, but in terms of like becoming a teacher, that was a much later realized goal. Um, and yeah, I pretty much, like I said, I discovered that I was really interested in education. I kind of just went after it, got my certification, did the coursework, and I was there. So I guess I'm at a place now where it's kind of time to start developing new goals and seeing how I can be a better educator, be a better coach, and kind of like expand my reach here at law and in education in general. So kind of at a resting point, but not for long.
If you had one piece of advice to give to student athletes at any level, what would it be?
I would say just keep perspective, understand where you're at and how much your career matters to your life. And if it matters a lot, then just be mindful and always prioritize your personal happiness and stability over um, your performance and the longevity of your career, because ultimately it does end. Um, but you have to keep going as a person even after that. So prioritize yourself. I know it's hard a lot of the time, and the programs and coaches don't make it easy, but make sure you're always keeping that at the forefront.